Welcome to Dashing Dish. It's birthday month in the Farrell household. We're celebrating Maddie, Ollie, and my birthday all in the same month, and it would not be a birthday celebration without special food and treats. Our kid-approved birthday menu includes 3-ingredient chicken nuggets, clean eating SpaghettiOs, confetti cookies, and no birthday would be complete without Almond Flour Chocolate Cupcakes. I'm Katie Farrell, and today we're going to celebrate birthdays with a healthy twist. Come join us. To kick off this birthday bash, I'm gonna make one of my kids' favorite meals. Well, I don't really know if I'd call it a meal, but it's definitely one of their favorite foods, chicken nuggets. And it's gonna look and taste just like the freezer kind. I don't know what it is about kids, but it seems like they like and prefer the processed stuff that really isn't as good for them, am I right? But it's gonna look and taste just like their favorite frozen chicken nuggets, but it's a much healthier version, and it's so simple to make. You literally will never buy frozen chicken nuggets again. It starts off with 1 cup of cooked chicken, 1 cup of shredded cheese, and 2 eggs. And all you need for this recipe is a food processor. And you're gonna wanna definitely have a food processor for this. So if you don't have it, you'll wanna go buy one because you'll love this recipe. You'll see how easy it is. So we're gonna add the chicken and the eggs and the cheese to the food processor. It's literally that simple. For the shredded cheese, I used half Parmesan and half shredded mozzarella, but you could do just one kind of cheese. I did use half and half because Parmesan cheese is really salty. So if you're using, let's say, rotisserie chicken like I am, it already has a lot of salt and seasoning in the chicken. So I didn't want it to be too salty, so that's why I used half and half. Okay, so we're just gonna pulse it until everything comes together and it looks like it's almost like a batter that you can't see any kind of chunks. All right, that looks like about good. It took me about 2 minutes or so. If you do have any bigger pieces of chicken, you definitely wanna break them up before you do this because you don't want any chunks of chicken. And then I'm just gonna kind of scrape down the sides just a little bit. And you can use a little ice cream scoop like I have here, and that's great for just kind of scooping it out. You could also put this into a bowl, kind of scrape it into a bowl before you do this so that you're not working with that blade. But I feel pretty confident about just using the ice cream scoop in there. And you could use any kind of leftover chicken for this. So let's say you grill up a big batch of chicken and you don't like leftover chicken. This is the perfect recipe to use that leftover chicken in. So essentially we're just making chicken nuggets on the pan. You can see these are kind of forming in just perfect little balls, but you can always just flatten them out just a little bit with your hands like that and shape them into more of a chicken nugget shape as you go, or you can wait till the end to do that. But I just love celebrating my kids. You know, I thought it was almost like a little God wink when I realized that my kids were both gonna have birthdays the same month as mine, because it really took us a long time to get pregnant with both of our kids. It was quite the journey with both of them. So it just felt like a gift from God to be able to celebrate them the same month as my birthday. And now it's so funny, I could care less about my birthday because I'm so excited to celebrate theirs. I don't know how many moms out there feel the same, that honestly, when it comes to celebrating your kid's birthday, you're more excited than they are. The journey to having kids for Sean and I was a really long one and a very challenging one. But I look back at all that God did in our hearts and in our minds and in our marriage and in us personally, that I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. And I even remember feeling so sad that our kids were gonna be 5 years apart. I just kept feeling like time was ticking when I was trying to get pregnant with Ollie. And the longer that time went on, I just felt more and more sad because I never really pictured our kids being that far apart in age. but it's been the greatest gift ever. And so sometimes when we're in a really hard season, it's hard to see what God is doing, but then when you come out on the other side, you realize that God knows so much better than we do, and his plans are so much better than ours. So Ollie and Maddie are becoming best of friends now that Ollie's turning almost 2 and Maddie's turning 7, which is crazy. They're becoming best friends. So it's so sweet to watch, and I just love this age, and I just love watching them grow together and with each other. Okay, so these are shaped into the perfect little chicken nuggets now, so they're ready to go into the oven. I have an air fryer setting on my oven, so I just turned it on air fry 425, but you could also just use your oven. If you have convection oven, that's even better because it kind of circulates the air like an air fryer. It just gets them a little bit more crispy, and you'll want to bake them or air fry them 425 for 10 to 12 minutes. Well, my birthday girl is here in the kitchen with me, and we're gonna make one of Maddie's favorite birthday treats for her birthday party. What is it, do you think? Cookies, how'd you know? And what do you think, what kind of cookies?
Confetti cookies.
There you go, how'd you know? I did not tell her that. She gathered all from the sprinkles. So we're making Maddie's favorite cookies, confetti cookies, and these are really good. They're really big, moist cookies with sprinkles in them. So every single kid and adult will love these, not just at a party, but any time of year. So we're gonna start with some really wholesome, easy ingredients. We have 2 cups of oat flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of sweetener of choice, 3/4 cup of applesauce, 1 egg, and a 1/4 cup of rainbow sprinkles. All right, so Maddie, can you add the flour to the bowl? We have our oat flour here. You wanna put it in the bowl? Okay, you can pour that in. And Mommy's gonna measure out some baking powder, baking soda, and salt. And you can add the sugar.
Oh.
Yep, you can add all of that sugar. Maddie, what are you most excited for about your birthday?
The American Girl doll store.
Oh, that's right. Here, very close to Nashville, we have an American Girl doll store. Yep, you can crack the egg. And it's very exciting for Maddie because we've never been to one before, but it's very neat. You get to not only shop, good job. You can put that in the bowl right there. You did perfect. You can wipe your hands right here, hon. You not only get to shop for American Girl doll stuff, which she's never got to do before. Some of her friends have one. But you also get to eat lunch with your doll.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have pizza and some treats with the doll that she picks out. So that's gonna be her birthday celebration this year. That was what she picked. What are you most excited for about Ollie turning 2?
What kind of party will he have?
Oh, remember what we said? Do you remember what kind of party?
Paw Patrol?
Oh, well, he would love Paw Patrol. But we're gonna do Buzz Lightyear. To infinity and beyond. That's more for Sean. When your kids are turning 1 and 2, you pick the birthday theme that you really want. You don't really pick their. He does. He does love Paw Patrol.
He knows all the names. He doesn't know how to say Woody.
Yeah, that's
He only
true.
knows one.
But you sure love Toy Story, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you most love about Oliver?
When he laughs, when he has like a Buzz shirt or a Blippi shirt on.
Yeah, what does he say when he has a Buzz shirt on?
He says, he goes.
He says Buzz.
Buzz.
Yeah. He really, really likes when characters are on his clothes, even if he doesn't know the character. So if there's any kind of let's say Mickey Mouse was on his shirt, he laughs so hard and he's just loving the fact that characters are on his clothes. And it's really funny because Maddie never really cared about what I put on her as far as clothes go. So you would think that my girl would definitely be mindful of what I put on her. She never cared. Oliver is very particular about what I put on him already. So we'll see how that goes. So we're gonna add our sprinkles to the mix. You can pour a lot in, as much as you want. Go crazy. There you go.
Yeah.
For sprinkles, I really like to find sprinkles that are a little bit more natural, so without added food dyes. If you can find them, great. If not, a little bit of sprinkles, you know, with food coloring isn't gonna hurt anybody, just every now and then. But we use sprinkles a lot in our house, don't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you have for breakfast every day?
Homemade balls.
Yes, homemade balls. So I make Maddie confetti cake protein balls with some really nutritious ingredients. So I love it because the ingredients that she's getting are really good, much better than even a bowl of cereal or some toast. They're really balanced nutrition-wise as far as like protein, fiber, healthy fats, all the good stuff are in those balls, but she loves them because they look like confetti cake, don't they? Yeah, so it's really fun to eat them because they have tons of sprinkles, don't they? Yep. And Maddie, how old are you turning?
7.
Yeah, can you believe that? I tell her all the time, you'll always be my baby. And she giggles. And it is true. All the moms out there know. Doesn't matter how old your kids are. And my mom says the same thing to me and my sisters. So she says, you'll always be my baby. And that is the truth, isn't it, Maddie? Mm-hmm. Yep. And so now we can top these with just a few more sprinkles on top just to make them look really pretty for our birthday celebration. Here, let's put the lid on so that they don't spill out so fast. Here we go. Well, Maddie, my favorite thing about you is your heart. And I always tell her she has the sweetest heart. She really thinks about other kids and other people. And when someone gets hurt, she feels so sad for them. And it's really been amazing to just see her blossom and grow, especially as she's been in kindergarten this year, and just to see how God is really transforming her into a brave, bold lion, aren't you, Maddie? Yep. One of the things that we've done since she was little, she's always been a little bit more on the meek side. So we've been putting scriptures on her bed on a piece of paper since she was little. And we have scriptures talking about how she's as bold as a lion. So every night we read those scriptures together out loud, don't we? Mm-hmm. So that really has impacted her growth. And I've seen huge changes in her where she really has started to believe what God says about her, even from a very early age. So let's put these in the oven. They look great, 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. Coming up next, no birthday party is complete without cake. These grain-free chocolate cupcakes are made with real ingredients that you can feel good about. All right, now we're on to making one of Ollie's favorite treats, which is, can you guess?
Cupcakes?
Cupcakes, chocolate cupcakes with sprinkles. I feel like everything with a birthday needs sprinkles on it, don't you? I think so. It's almost like confetti for your food. So for these cupcakes, we're gonna use almond flour, which is a really nutritious flour, and it makes for perfect cupcakes. It's really moist and a little bit more fluffy than oat flour, so it's perfect every time. I love it in my cupcakes and baked goods that you want to be a little bit more moist. So for this recipe, we need 2.5 cups of almond flour, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, 3 eggs, 1 cup of Greek yogurt, 1 cup of sweetener of choice, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, Maddie, let's get going on the cupcakes. Well, I'll have you put some of these ingredients into the bowl, okay? You can just dump them all in there, and Mommy's gonna add a few too over here, okay? So Maddie, what are you most excited for about turning 7?
The confetti, the tie-dye birthday.
Oh, tie-dye birthday.
With my friend.
Yes. So since we moved here, we've really seen an answer to prayer, haven't we? And what is that answer to prayer?
I made you friend.
Yes. And the biggest desire of Maddie's heart was that we would make some friends that were neighbors, because in our old neighborhood, there were no little girls in the neighborhood. And I mean, when I say no little girls, there were like a few babies and some teenage girls. But there was not one little girl that was around Maddie's age. And so Maddie just really desired to have friends that were in her neighborhood. Girlfriends, huh?
Then
Yeah, Easton is her cousin in our neighborhood, but some girlfriends. You can put one egg in, okay? And so we prayed and prayed, and lo and behold, just on our street, we have 2 little girls. Yep, you can throw it right there. We have 2 little girls that are exactly Maddie's age, and they've become great friends with Maddie, and I've become friends with their moms. So it's been such an answer to prayer, and it really does show that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can begin to pray and just ask God for the things that are on your heart. It's been a cool thing. Maddie has seen God's faithfulness in answering that prayer, haven't you? Yeah. So we're gonna stir this all together. You wanna take a little turn? I'll give you a turn. Here you go. Just keep it all in the bowl. One of the things that's been a really a growing process for me is letting my kids get in the kitchen with me. We had one snowstorm, and only one. It was one snow in general here in Tennessee this year, and that's been quite the difference for us coming from Michigan. And so during that snowstorm week, the kids were both home all day, every day, and so we did a lot of baking, and that was Ollie's first experience baking with us. So there was food everywhere, the biggest mess I think I've ever seen in my kitchen, but it really has challenged me to let go of control and let the kids just have fun. And I think a really important reason that God's been showing me to give up control in a lot of ways as a parent is because if we don't, then God can't do his thing in their lives, but also it really takes away from the joy of the experience for them if we're always stepping in and trying to control everything. So allowing them to learn and grow and also find joy in the moment is so important. And so in order to do that, you got to just say, it's going to be okay. Take some deep breaths. And so that's really been a big part of baking and cooking with my kids. And it's honestly turned into such a joy for me. So Maddie, this looks great. We're gonna add it to the pan now. We're gonna add it to the cupcake pan. Look how cute that cupcake pan is. It has confetti sprinkles on it. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna use an ice cream scoop to do that. Give it one little last stir here. Make sure everything's mixed together. All right, so we're gonna just divide this cupcake mix evenly among the muffin tins. 400 degrees for 20 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. And to frost these cupcakes, all I did was make a homemade chocolate frosting that was really simple. You can use any recipe, and it really is, it's not technically healthy. There's sugar in it, there's butter in it, but when it comes to frosting, I don't mess around. I just use the original classic tried and true recipes. So I just used butter, powdered sugar, cocoa powder. That's it, to make a chocolate frosting. So when these cool, we'll frost them and we'll top them with sprinkles. They'll be the perfect chocolate confetti cupcakes for the celebration. Coming up next, what kid doesn't like SpaghettiOs? Yet, the ingredients aren't always the best. Using clean eating ingredients, these homemade O's will taste so much better than the canned. So I'm here with my best friend and my husband, Sean, and we're gonna be making one of his favorites, but it's actually for the kids, but he really is like a big kid.
It's true.
Which is clean eating SpaghettiOs.
Okay, I have a history with SpaghettiOs.
You do. When we first got married, I actually bought SpaghettiOs in a can because I didn't know what to make him. He literally ate, I think, like 3 to 5 things. And when we got married, and so I just didn't know what to feed you, so I had to buy SpaghettiOs
Hamburger
just to
helper.
feed you. And so it wasn't until I actually reached out to his mom and I said, I need help. What did you ever make him? And so I started making a little bit more, and now you have quite
I have like 6
wide.
things. 6 or 7.
Yeah, you eat 7 things, so that's pretty good. But he definitely would like these clean eating SpaghettiOs. I never even got to give you these when I was making the recipe because the kids ate them all.
Oh,
they love them. So if your kids love SpaghettiOs or they just like pasta in general, this is going to be a little bit of actually a lot healthier version than the canned kind. And we're just gonna start by boiling some water. And to the water, we're gonna add 4 ounces of tomato paste, 2 cups pasta, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon paprika, 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder, 2 teaspoons sweetener of choice, 1/4 cup half and half, and 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. So to start, you just want to bring about 4.5 cups of water to a boil, and to that we're going to add some tomato paste. This is what is going to give it that SpaghettiO flavor, is the tomato paste. So we're going to let those two kind of simmer together. Just give it a little stir. And you want that tomato paste to almost melt before you add the rest of your seasonings to the water. So Sean, what are you most excited about our kids growing up? I know it's like the saddest thing ever when kids grow up, but we try often to talk about what are the good things about them growing up, because if we just sit here and stare at old pictures, we just cry. So
she does that a lot. She'll look at pictures on her phone of the kids, and then she sends them to me. And
it's true. And he's always like crying, like sending the cry face back to me. But we try and talk about, okay, what are the good things? Because there is a lot of good. It's just bittersweet, isn't it?
Yeah, I think with Ollie specifically, I think, when he's older to play sports, because I like to take the kids outside and kick the ball around, but both of them are like not that into it yet. So something like that, or to just get him involved in sports.
Yeah.
With Maddie, seeing her creativity kind of blossoming now, she loves to just draw out of the blue and just draw pictures, and it's kind of fun to see how her artistic skills are developing, even without my help. So that's been kind of fun to see too.
It's true, and a big part of that has been Sean coloring and doing art with the kids.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing all the time he's invested into teaching them his creative ways, because he's very creative. And just seeing how now that's blossoming in them has been really neat to watch. So really, you're just adding the seasonings to the pot with the tomato paste. You're bringing it to a boil, which it looks like we're just about there. So this is over high heat. And then kind of stir the pasta in, and we're gonna wait for this to come back to a boil. And you are not going to be draining this pasta like you would a normal pasta in a colander. You're literally, this is the sauce. You're cooking it in the sauce right now. So you're gonna let it boil for about 12 minutes until the pasta is tender. Now, depending on the kind of pasta you use, it might take a little less time, a little more time. You're just looking for the pasta to be done. And when it's done, that's when we can go ahead and finish off with the creamy additions that make it just like SpaghettiOs. All right, so I've been boiling these SpaghettiOs, and I've been stirring it pretty constantly, so every few minutes or so, just to make sure that it doesn't stick and burn to the bottom. And then once the pasta is tender, and you can do that by just kind of touching it or even blowing some off and tasting it, don't burn your mouth like I did, then we're gonna add our cheesy, creamy ingredients, which is our Parmesan cheese and our half and half. So you can add that half and half, Sean.
Anytime?
Yep. And this is what's gonna make it really taste like SpaghettiOs. So you're gonna just stir this for another minute or two, just until everything comes together and the cheese kind of melts in there. Doesn't this look good?
Caramelizing.
Yes, caramelizing.
Congealing.
When Sean is home without me and he has to feed the kids, every time he makes, DoorDash, sure. That, or he makes some kind of, I do buy organic, but I have some emergency boxed mac and cheese. And so he'll make that. And He always says that he has to let it caramelize by cooking a little bit longer. So that's his cooking expertise. I do not make boxed mac and cheese. I always ruin anything that I have to follow instructions? If it's like boxed,
not just food.
I mess it up, and I'm like, this is why I make my own recipes.
You just had the camera.
I cannot make a boxed recipe.
You just got a camera from Maddie.
Yeah.
And you're like, why isn't this working?
Yeah,
and
well, that's
read the instructions? No, 2 seconds later.
That is true. I'm bad at following instructions, I guess, but I can write instructions. So this looks perfect. You can see how the cheese is really melted in there, and the pasta is cooked beautifully. So this is going to be perfect for our party. And now we're going to frost our cupcakes with the kids and get everything ready for the party. Well, as you can see, we are finishing up our party food and treats, and we are decorating the cupcakes and eating the cupcakes while decorating. And it's gonna be such a fun party, celebrating my kids and myself. What a fun birthday month. I'm so glad that you got to join us. If you want these birthday celebration recipes that are a little bit healthier, you can head over to dashanddish.com where you'll find recipes and more to nourish your body and soul.
Oh my God.
He's just enjoying the whole cupcake.